enterprise, enterprising women, and women leading from the front. India has been a powerhouse of such women, especially in the crafts industry. But today, we're talking about the urban educated women. Somehow, these women have been left out and couldn't reach the zenith of their career, which could have come easier to them. Why? We find out today. I'm at the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore with an interesting mix of entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, all women, to get to the bottom of this. Gayatri, you've been in the industry for over 12 years now, and now you've started up on your own. Could you tell me what women bring to the table?
Oh, we bring a whole lot of things to the table. Top of my mind, we bring a lot of stability to the table, right? We're able to look at situations from various perspectives and analyze them, and that stability is something I feel, women are better at. Multitasking, right? That's something we're really good at. We are made that way. We can multitask a lot. And empathy, right? It's important when you're trying to build something, when you're leading a team, even in a corporate, right? Empathy is extremely important, and that's something that comes to us naturally. So top of my mind, multitasking, empathy, and stability.
So I speak from my personal experience. I think women also bring a lot of sensitivity and soul to the company, because somewhere we keep asking ourselves and also the team and also the company, what is the long-term vision? What is a larger vision? Probably unachievable in the near future, but what is it that we can keep striving towards? So I think the soul of the company is something that women definitely bring to the table.
Despite all of this, we still don't see too many women, urban educated women again in India, in the field of entrepreneurship and also in mid to senior level careers. Could you tell me certain challenges that you all face? Anybody?
I literally had to move out from my house to perceive what I'm doing. It was my own father didn't support me. My entire in-laws family was thinking, am I lost it or something? Almost my marriage came to a segment where it was about to get divorced. And I had to stay at least 1 year away, do what I'm doing. And it took almost 200 patients or clients to be a proof that my work works. And now my husband is one of the biggest support I have. My family has now, taken the step up, okay, let's give her a chance. She's good at her work. So I feel that the challenges are going to be there, whether it is from patients, customers' point of view, or it is from family point of view. But the belief in the self and just working towards it is the only way which each one of us are going to achieve it.
Okay, so before we go on to the men versus women challenges that each of you face, generically in the ecosystem, what sort of challenges do women face?
I think day in, day out, we are battling stereotypes. And this is stemming not only from the conditioning we've been through since time immemorial, but also this constant voice within us that keeps saying, am I doing the right thing? Am I being too aggressive? Am I being perceived as being too aggressive? So this is definitely a challenge that needs support of not just women but also men.
I still feel that the biggest challenge is in the mindset. So a lot of women like to take it all okay and finally reel under guilt. So living life guilt-free and going for it is the first biggest step that every woman has to take.
Nature has made women in such a way that we tend to take more responsibilities. So when I came back from the US, I did not actually find a quality daycare. That was 10 years back, of course. Now there are good quality daycares. So I had to take a break in my career. And then starting entrepreneurship was again a challenge, because you have taken a break for 2 years and then you're going back to work. Going back to work is also challenging in terms of, after taking a break. And so that is one of the challenges. Of course, daycare has been kind of taken care of now. Then as a woman, I think capital is another challenge, because you somehow don't, there are not enough role models, maybe not enough businesses which have been successful, which have been run by women. So maybe there are not many examples for the investors to actually believe that a woman's entrepreneurial journey would be a success. So these are basically the two things. One is a lot of responsibilities, even at home, outside. Taking a break in the career does add to that. And of course, access to finance.
Okay, I'll get to the career break in just a bit. Just before that, could you tell me how conducive is today's business environment for women entrepreneurs and also for corporate success?
businesses, I think, has been in India forever. We've known aunties who've been making pickles. We know aunties who've been taking tuitions. So I think entrepreneurs, as such, have always been in India. It's just that now, I think, for the past 2-3 decades, it's kind of got more formal and more ambitious. And I think, I mean, women at this point, I think we are a lucky bunch. I think things are opening up for us right now. And women are getting into following their dreams and trying what they can. And as she mentioned, I think multitasking is in our DNA. And I think we are very relevant. I think my gender in this country is 49%. So we are very, very relevant, I think, in India's growth to entrepreneurial challenges.
I'm trying to enter an industry which is completely male dominated, and they are not allowing me to enter. So I'm in an industry which is very, very unorganized, and I want to really make it a process driven. And I see a completely, kind of a not very conducive environment for me to enter the market, and they always have questions about my capability. Will I be able to do it? There is a trust factor issue always there, since it is all like done by men, whether women can actually do it. So this is one of the main bottleneck that I always face on a day-to-day.
Our Indian mentality is that men, it's more male-dominated society, and a lot of families do not give permission to the woman to step out and work or start a business of their own. Maybe do something from home is good, but to actually set up an office somewhere else and do something is not very encouraging at all. I think people should come over that mindset, support their daughters or their daughter-in-laws to come out, because we are capable, we are hardworking, and if we have a situation like if we can be good, successful homemakers, then we can definitely be successful entrepreneurs too. So
I'll just take the last answer on this question.
So I think in terms of the business environment, it really depends on what industry we are talking about. I have actually spent 22 years in the travel industry, and the travel industry, in fact, employs more women than men. So I think my particular industry is very welcoming to women. What's irritating, however, is the social environment. For example, because I'm in the travel industry, I've always traveled a lot for my work. And I'm sure that if my husband was in the same position, people wouldn't say, oh my God, you're traveling, who looks after your children, right? Even though he's a parent and I'm a parent. But because I'm a woman, I always battle with that question that really gets under my skin. I have an extremely supportive spouse, and we've never had help, live-in help. But between the two of us, we've managed our daughters. And I just feel that having to deal with those kind of situations is a pressure in itself. But I know women who have made a career in architecture. I even have a friend who's actually in the petroleum industry who's a woman. And I know that for them, it's a lot harder. So I think in terms of business environment, it really depends on what the business is. There's some more women-friendly businesses, and there are some women-unfriendly businesses.
Since you were talking about women-friendly business, it brings me to the next point, which is there a bias in the kind of industry women pick? Is there a bias towards crafts? Is there a bias towards safer industries? And why does it exist?
Since I'm the manufacturing sector, I can understand the bias, because being a woman, I have found myself in very difficult positions when it comes to marketing, when you got to travel, because the people who are basically in the markets, it's always very difficult tackling those kind of, it's a very different profile those people have, and when you have to go out and meet them, it's very difficult getting through with them with every point that you got to put across. But again, within the industry, like within the factory perhaps, I find it very easy getting along with the people, because they kind of see you as a mother or perhaps a sister, and they are very friendly when it comes to mingling with the workers, because we perhaps understand them better than the male counterparts.
Perhaps one more reason could be, the bias could be because most of the women settle for lifestyle businesses rather than growth businesses. So, and at some point, there is a glass ceiling here as well, where women think, okay, for this lifestyle, okay, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm happy with this. Probably that could also be the reason why a lot of women tend to be biased around businesses which fetch them money and the happiness, and they are content with that. Probably that could be the reason.
Right. But we've also seen these women entrepreneurs and corporate successes like Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw and Indra Nooyi. They've been bucking the trend. How did they get there?
I just I just wanted to say that, I mean, I can speak for most of the women out here. We chose careers. We're doing what we're doing because we wanted to do it, not because it was easy to do it, right? I would have been working in a corporate if I wanted an easy life, right? So things will change in the next 20 to 30 years. We just need more success stories. We just need more inspirations. Things will change. I would put my foot down and say we are not choosing things because it's easy, right? We are doing it because we want to do it. It's a fight. We'll fight it out and win. I think that's the only way to look at it.
Breaking the glass ceiling, making Indian women a force to be reckoned with, and finally evening out the platform for women entrepreneurs. That's what we're talking about at the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore. We'll get you more after this break.